Non-formal education division will soon be renamed the Complementary Education Agency. The division was established in 1987 to coordinate and direct all adult education-related activities and enhance integrated planning and coordination of the subsector. Youth and adult literacy in Ghana dates back to 1948 through the work of voluntary organizations and churches, particularly in the Volta, Ashanti, Western and Central regions. The Ghana Institute of Adult Education, which is now School of Continuing and Distance Education, was founded and located at the University of Ghana, Legon, for that purpose. After a successful literacy experiment in some parts of the country, the Mass Literacy and Mass Education Plan were approved by the then National Assembly in 1951 and implemented by the Mass Education section of the Department of Community Development. In 1952, the Department of Community Development launched the first literacy drive to accelerate development in rural areas to bridge the gap between the urban and rural parts of the country. Two main approaches were adopted. They are organizing literacy classes for adults and appealing to parents to send their children to school. Schools were rapidly built by village and town development committees through self-help projects at a time when the country's literacy rate was only 9%, though the Department of Community Development succeeded in raising the literacy level. The pioneering efforts of the department waned because of inadequate human and material resources. By 1954, the adult literacy activities of the department had spread across all the regions of the country, with 11 Ghanaian languages being used as the medium of instruction. From 1951 to 1966, 22,500 new literates were turned out annually using voluntary instructors. Yet it was evident by 1961 that the mass literacy program could not cater for the huge number of school dropouts, mainly due to lack of school facilities. To this effect, the Ghana National Council for Adult Education was established in 1979 to harmonize all governmental and non-governmental institutions working in the field of adult literacy under the Lagos Action Plan, which was based on the 1979 Monrovia Declaration of OAU Conference of Heads of State in 1980. The MINDAF Conference of Ministers of Education led to the approval of a regional program for eradication of illiteracy in Africa by UNESCO. The Non-Formal Education Division piloted the National Functional Literacy Program from 1987 to 1992. This was followed by a nationwide implementation in two phases, with Phase 1 from 1992 to 1997 and Phase 2, 2000 to 2007, under the sponsorship of World Bank.
During these periods, the division embarked on community sensitization, recruitment of facilitators and learners, training of facilitators and other supporting staff, establishment of classes, class monitoring and supervision, training of learners in community development, and income-generating activities known as occupational skills development, and running of reinforcement of class activities on radio. These programs were undertaken on an annual basis on a very large scale. By the end of 2008, the division was able to turn out 2,281,769 learners over a 21-month literacy cycle, with 25 to 30 learners per class. After the exit of the World Bank, the division relies solely on Government of Ghana funding to recruit only 60,000 learners annually, with 54,000 making 90% learner completion rate. The 60,000 learner recruitment per year comprises of local languages and English component, which have been reduced from a 21-month literacy cycle into a 9-month literacy cycle.
The critical question, therefore, is whether the Non-Formal Education Division has been able to coordinate all youth and adult education-related activities and ensured enhanced planning of the non-formal education subsector since its establishment. According to Director of Complementary Education Agency Francis Asumedu, after successful literacy delivery for more than 2 decades across Ghana, we are grateful to the government for approving the Complementary Education Agency (CEA) CEA bill in October 2020 to give the division an agency status. The CEA is mandated to provide flexible learning opportunities to out-of-school children and youth and adults from 15 to 40 years who have missed formal education at the early stages of their lives but have the desire to return to formal school to improve their lives.
The present agency status affords non-formal education to be able to be doing more against the traditional roles that we are doing. And so we ask for the support of the general public, especially our stakeholders who have joined us in the complementary education structures that we have already created. We also want to acknowledge the support that are coming from our partners like Mondale's Cocoa Life. We also want to acknowledge the support of EcoBank in particular, which has also helped us to develop financial literacy manual. We are very grateful also to UNESCO for the support that we are enjoying. UNESCO has been supporting us greatly, especially relating to International Literacy Day celebration, which this documentary was even meant for at the time that we were spending the Literacy Day.
The Minister of Education, Dr. Yawaduchum, throws more light on the activities of the division.
Glad to be here and at this time in the history of the Complementary Education Agency. They used to be called the Non-Formal Education Division, and the vision of the President at the time we came into power, the first term, was very clear, that he wanted a more robust agency, an agency that will be able to provide occupational training programs for people who are older, and an agency that will continue to perform its previous mandate of providing functional literacy to those who are not fortunate like us, and they cannot read or write even at a ripe age, sometimes of 20, 40, 50. But beyond that, the President also felt strongly that for every Ghanaian, it should never be too late to engage in some kind of training. So you may be 40 years, but you can get training to become an electrician. You can get training to become a mason. So technical vocational training should not be the preserve of only the youth, but everyone should be given opportunity. Therefore, the new agency has as one of its core mandates the training of adults in various occupations. But we also felt strongly that there should be an upward mobility for those who want to get into the mainstream of the education system. Therefore, this agency has the powers and the authority to create a new examination regime that will allow individuals who may have dropped out of junior high school, senior high school, to go back to school and get an equivalent high school certificate, which will enable them to move up into the mainstream of the education system, and which will also ensure that they too enjoyed upward mobility just like anybody else. In essence, in Chi, I would say this is the Nkachi program. Never too late for anyone to be successful in Ghana. So this is the mandate of the Complementary Education Agency, the old non-formal education division of the Ministry of Education. This year they are beginning an adventure, a journey to a future that will not only serve the adults of this country, but will really help them contribute to the national development agenda. So the Complementary Education Agency is going to embark on the development of adult schools or learning centers. And these learning centers will be the place you go and get counseling so that you know as an adult what you want to do for yourself. This is a place where you can go and get instruction in literacy. This is a place you can go and get instruction so that you can prepare for the BEC. This is a place where you can go, and if you want, prepare for WASI, but most importantly, this is a place where you can go and get an equivalent certificate that will allow you to also join our security forces, go back to school, move up the social ladder, and become the person you have always envisaged yourself to be. The old non-formal education has done so much for this country. Our literacy numbers are up. But under the new agency, they can do more beyond literacy. And beyond literacy is what we are looking at. That how can we then leverage on our literacy skills and do more than what we have done for ourselves. That if you may be a market woman, but you can be taught some basic accounting skills and principles so that you can truly take care of your business and do well financially. And you may be a farmer. There's an opportunity for you to be able to get basic skills that will enable you to learn more about farming and become a better farmer. In essence, it's never too late for everyone. Thank you.
Some beneficiaries, Priscilla Educhumwa and Constance Aka, who dropped out of school due to teenage pregnancy and financial difficulties, are able to return back to school with the help of non-formal remedial classes. With the support of the CEA, they have seen improvement in their lives.
My name is Kwatin Educhumwa Priscilla. I'm 19 years of age. I went to Our Ladies of Providence and I was in SHS 2. I got pregnant and I have to drop out from school. After giving birth, I have to continue my education. So I heard of the non-formal education division, remedial classes. I joined the non-formal remedial classes on 5th October 2018 and wrote the BEC on June 2019. I'm in SHS 1 at now. And I would like to tell those who are in similar situation like mine to join the non-formal remedial classes so that you can enjoy the free SHS.
My name is Aka Constance. I come from Sinyane in the Bron region. I completed GHS in the year 2016, but due to financial difficulties, I couldn't go to SHS. So I had the non-formal remedial classes in 16th October 2018. So I went and joined them and write the BEC again in the year 15th June 2019. And I got Agri grade 9 and I'm now in SHS 1, Techman Senior High. That's the school I am now in. I would like to advise people out there that when your parents are not having money to take you to SHS, you can join the non-formal education remedial classes and write the BEC again and you can enjoy the free SHS. So I would like to say a big thank you to non-formal education division for bringing me this far. So thank you.
Mr. David Wombe from Yendi District Assembly and Dr. Isahaku Fusaini, lecturer at the School of Continuing Distance Education, were learners in the non-formal education literacy class. They described how they passed through the non-formal literacy class before entering the formal school and to reach their current educational status. They thanked the CEA for how far it has brought them and recommended that people who have missed formal education should not miss this great opportunity.
My full name is David Wombe Tadley. I'm from Wadiyili, which is Myang district. The formal school I joined 1995, completed 2000 in primary school. From primary school I moved to JSS and I completed 93. From secondary school 2003 to 2006 and I completed the SS. So from that SS I moved to the Rural Development College. I was getting admission to the Rural Development College, which is 2007. So I entered 2007 and I completed 2009, which is the diploma. And it was a diploma in community development. To me, the non-formal education have helped me a lot. The time I was not even knowing the non-formal education, I wasn't know how to write. I wasn't know how to read. Before that, I started non-formal division. class, and I was able to read and I can speak. Now I'm going to tell my junior sisters and brothers they shouldn't miss this opportunity to join the non-formal education. It's good.
My name is Dr. Isahaka Huteni. I'm from northern Ghana, northern region to be specific. My village is called Swaru. It's within the Sanaro district. Sanaro district was part of Tamil Metro until 2012. Yes. So around about 1989 and 1990, I had the opportunity to accompany my uncles. They asked me to carry their bench to their non-formal classes, which I did, and I was supposed to go and bring back the bench. And so that made me to sit. And so the following day, they were asked a question based on what they learned the previous night. And unfortunately, none of the mature people remembered anything. So the facilitator jokingly asked me, so you were here with us, do you remember something about what I'm asking? So I said something and he said, oh yeah, that was fine. He asked another question. They could not provide a useful response by his standard. So he asked again, I said something, so it was fine. So that was when he allowed me to join them sitting on the kitchen stool. Fast forward, I progressed quite well, got to JSS. JSS I did very well, and my year I was the best student. My message is that as a country, as a society, as Ghana, I think we need to take a holistic approach to not only educating, but building our manpower base, our human resource base. And that holistic approach for me, part of it involved revamping the NFED kind of program. Try to infuse innovative thinking into it and then see how it can impact on our society. I think these are some of the little things or small things that we can do to let people do maybe self-backward appraisal of the impact of the program. And then possibly when we begin to think about bringing it back to the level that it was in terms of continuing to make more impact, people will come in to contribute their own base to kind of make it once more vibrant kind of program.
The Ministry of Education has initiated some pragmatic steps to rename and expand the mandate of the CEA through the Complementary Education Agency CEA Act, which was passed in October 2020. Though the goal of the CEA Act improved equity in education for underprivileged and marginalized Ghanaians, especially out of school children OOSC, youth and adults who have missed formal education at the early stages of their lives, this goal is yet to be translated into a reality. The CEA Act has three broad components during its implementation. These are National Functional Literacy Program NFLP, Occupational Skill Development OSD, and Complementary Education Pathways. The CEA therefore calls on government, development partners, and civil society organizations for support to enable it drive this new course.